Hurricane Katrina is now designated a Category 5 hurricane. We cannot stress enough the danger this hurricane poses to Gulf Coast communities. I urge all citizens to put their own safety and the safety of their families first by moving to safe ground.
We went to bed on the night of the 29th thinking, when the storm actually had finished its work and gone through New Orleans and the greater New Orleans area, went to bed thinking, the worst is over, everything's fine. They did some damage, but it wasn't a whole lot. We'll be back in another day or two. I woke up the next day to CNN with the city underwater. And the nightmare began at that point and continues, like Ron said, continues to this day.
That we do it because, living in mold, for maybe you're here for a week, you won't really feel a whole lot of the effects of it. But the homeowners and the family members living in this house for years on, they'll get respiratory problems, sicknesses, at worst, brain damage, especially for the young children that are going to be living in here. So, this is why we do it.
You can't, you can't know someone's story in 5 pieces of paper. And so, sit down, talk. Something I'm doing now is trying to reinstitute kind of a homeowner orientation, because we're moving on, we're starting houses quickly.
Wrestles with, and for want of a better word, is worthiness. What's the next best choice?
They don't have the money. They're not really interested in Section 8 housing. They can't. What do you do in those type of situations?
When there's a storm, and the amount of water that's going to flood in the area is going to be decreased depending on how big the marsh is. So in 1839, this is the area of marsh that was there. In 1993, it's significantly less. You can see how much the marsh has receded. And that's in 1993.
Is that because of man-made?
Of early childhood development for well over 100 years, and that's one of the realms of expertise that we really have honed and helped to replicate in numerous areas throughout the rest of the state. Head Start and Early Head Start program in the state of Louisiana, we have 192 children that attend daily. Each class is pretty self-contained. It's kind of like a Montessori style of teaching and learning through engaging activities throughout the day. Then we're prepared. So we're making sure, like in the mode of Head Start, that when our children graduate and transition from our program at age 5, they are completely ready to learn in every way, shape, and form. So that when they hit kindergarten, they can hit the ground running. They've got all of the critical skills and knowledge and core that they need to succeed in school. Because we want to make sure that all of the nutritional needs that we meet while the kids are here, as well as all of the supportive needs that the kids have, is getting replicated when they're outside of this agency. So that's 24/7.
60,000 folks last year. And that ranges, we're one of those multi-service agencies like members are, and that ranges from working with a lot of children and families and adoptions.
Information-based decision-making in nonprofit organizations through the use of
data, information, and feedback loops. And we're also the home of the Greater New Orleans Community Data Center. So if you have any...
We take care of folks from womb to tomb, about 40 to 50 different programs. We've been actively involved.
We discovered that we only had 3 feet of water, and we were standing there hugging each other, jumping up and down, and we said, what is wrong with this picture? We're happy that we
are. Because of time is what I can remember. We were there with all the commands. We didn't know the city was flooding until the people started to come in. And you could tell at what level they'd been rescued based on the watermarks on their bodies.
Negotiate the mountains of Afghanistan, find a man in a hole many miles away, but you know, you couldn't get food and water for the Superdome for 3 days.
On our way. So we immediately went into gear to have all of our residential programs, battered women, homeless, mentally ill, disabled children, et cetera, go into gear to get out of town.
And you know, when you think about the level of poverty and vulnerability of populations that we had even before the storm, don't get me wrong, we had our share, a disproportionate share of dubious distinctions before the storm. Just about less in every indicator of children and family well-being, you know, we usually traded places with Mississippi and the national indicators, and so we had significant problems even before the storm. Whatever supports there were, the storm exacerbated those, so you know, we knew we needed to try to help. And so, you know, in the midst of kind of being angry about what had happened, I also saw some real, I mean, just examples of people really contributing and giving.
In New Orleans after the storm, the question that everybody knew, they'd say, how'd you do? And everybody knew what you were talking about. And then, unfortunately, the common refrain was, lost everything. Yeah. How'd you do? Lost everything.